Hello. Today I'd like to share with you an auditory strategy that can help build your child's listening and spoken language skills. The strategy we're going to talk about today is called auditory bombardment, and it is what it sounds like. It's providing multiple opportunities and repetitions for your child to hear a particular sound or word. And the reason why this is important is because children with hearing loss often don't have the same amount of exposure to sounds and words because of the time that it takes to establish hearing aid wear or to receive a cochlear implant. So it's important to make sure that they get lots of purposeful, meaningful repetitions of the sounds and the words that we want them to use. We know that children can't produce a sound or a word that they can't hear. So if we want them to use it with spoken language, they need to be able to hear it. So when we talk about auditory bombardment, there's a few things to keep in mind. First of all, you can use auditory bombardment at the sound level or the word level. So it can be appropriate for children at any age or stage of their auditory skill development. The important thing is to remember that we want it to be purposeful and meaningful. So you want to build this strategy in to your natural conversation with your child. Some of the listening and spoken language skills that auditory bombardment can help with are attention to sound, awareness of sound, integration of listening into a child's personality, comprehension through listening, and proper articulation of speech sounds. So when we use auditory bombardment, we're also helping to establish that auditory impression. The more that the child hears the sound or the word, the more they're going to be able to remember it, pay attention to it, and our end goal is for them to use it on their own spontaneously. So our target is for the auditory bombardment to be meaningful and purposeful. It also needs to be developmentally appropriate. So what that means is that you wouldn't necessarily target a sound that we wouldn't expect a 3-year-old to make. So it's not developmentally appropriate for a 3-year-old to necessarily be working on producing a clear R sound. So we want to make sure that the targets we're working on are meaningful for the child and developmentally appropriate. So if you have questions, if you're not sure if a sound is appropriate for your child to be working on, talk to their speech pathologist or their classroom teacher, and we would be happy to help you figure out what would be some good targets to work on at home. So examples, I'm going to give you a couple different examples of auditory bombardment at the different levels so that hopefully you can figure out the best way to use it with your child at home. So the first way is at the sound level. So if there's a particular sound that your child is working on, think about different words that are meaningful. Again, that part is super important. And also a natural part of their daily life and routine. So one example might be if you're going to have bananas for breakfast. Maybe you're working on that B sound. Maybe your child is working on getting those lips together for that B sound, and so you're going to practice banana. Or maybe you're practicing banana because you're working on multi-syllable words. So banana is going to be your target word. So when you're getting ready for breakfast in the morning, you might say, oh, do you want a banana? Let's cut up this banana. First, we need to open the banana. Oh, I need a knife to cut the banana. So under normal circumstances, you might say all of those same words and phrases, except for you might say, would you like a banana? Okay, let's get one. Let's cut it up. So you're replacing banana with those other words like one or it. So with auditory bombardment, you want to keep using that word as many times as you can, as naturally as you can. So it might feel a little awkward when you first start doing it to think to ourselves like, oh, I'm just saying banana so many times. But that's what we want to do, is provide those multiple repetitions, multiple opportunities for your child to hear that word. And then later on, maybe you're reading a book about a monkey eating a banana, and it gives you another chance to point out that banana, talk about the banana, and use the whole word. So that's one example for a word like banana. Maybe you're targeting the B sound, or maybe you're working on S's, and so maybe you want to plan a snack that involves a lot of S sounds and words. Maybe you're going to do a cooking activity. You're going to talk about stirring, and you're going to get a lot of different spoons, providing lots of those different words that all feature your target sound. Or maybe you're working on a grammatical structure. So this one is kind of a higher level, but another way that you can use auditory bombardment. So maybe your child is confusing he and she. So maybe keeping in mind that you want to refer to people as he or she more often than you might otherwise do, as a way to provide those multiple repetitions and really bombard them with the correct form of the pronoun. So those are a couple different examples that give you a little bit of an idea, but the basic concept is providing multiple repetitions of whatever your target is, whether it's a sound or a word or a grammatical structure. And again, if you're not sure what a good target would be for your child, please reach out to our Boys Town staff. Our speech pathologists and classroom teachers are more than happy to help you figure out how best to use this strategy at home.